Hello, my name's Linda Jones and I'm going to be telling you the story Puddle Troubles, which is all about Princess Lily. So if you're sitting comfortably, we'll begin. Puddle Troubles. Princess Lily was in trouble again. Sometimes being a princess was rubbish. Her mother would tell her, "Don't suck your thumb." Her uncle, "Stop playing with your hair." Her governess would sigh, rolling her eyes, "Don't scrape your shoes, straighten your clothes, clean your teeth and stop picking your nose." Her grandmother would tut, "Lily, princesses always smile." It just wasn't fair. Her governess, Miss Black, looked very cross. "Why are your new shoes and socks so muddy? There's a tear in your second best dress and grass stains on your knees." Lily squirmed and wriggled. "An enormous snail was caught in some netting in the garden, so I jumped across a massive puddle to the rescue. Only I tripped and fell and the grass was very wet. Sorry, Miss Black." "Princesses do not jump puddles in their best shoes, especially to rescue snails." "But it has such a pretty shell," said Lily. Miss Black looked even crosser. "You will wash and go to bed without your supper. Perhaps next time you will be more careful." Well, that wasn't fair at all, thought Lily. She turned and stomped up the winding staircase. Clumping past the statue of a girl on a horse, scowled at the cat who sat cleaning his paws, and ran up the steps, 1, 2, 3, 4. Past portraits and vases, a small dog that was scratching. With hardly a glance, she ran past a stern guard, startling a maid carrying a tray full of cards. Crash went her bedroom door. Bang went her dirty shoes as she kicked them across the floor. Lily sat on top of her bouncy bed, folded her arms, feeling very cross indeed. It was then she heard the weirdest sound. Brrr, brrr. A bit like a car with a cough. And it seemed to be coming from right under her bed. She bounced up and down a few times on the springy mattress. Perhaps the bed was going to break. She bounced again a little harder. "Oh, do you mind?" said a rumbling voice. "That's my head you keep hitting." Lily took a deep breath and slipped onto the floor. She counted all the way to 15 before she dared to peep under the bed. She sneezed, "Achoo!" then sneezed again, even harder. Along with the dust there were toys, books and some old odd socks, even a red bouncy ball. But sat in the middle of everything was something she had never, ever seen before. The thing had a big round body and 2 large green eyes, a nose all squashed and black. It rubbed its furry head with a large hairy hand, and she thought it looked quite cross. Princesses, she knew, were always supposed to be polite. "Hello, I'm Lily. Who are you?" "Muddywart Grime," said the monster, "but you could call me Muddy if you like." "Why are you hiding under my bed?" "I'm in trouble. My mum said I can't have any supper until I get properly dirty. There are usually lots of dirty things under here." He held out a very dusty book to show her. "Why don't you go outside in the garden?" asked Lily. "I'm always in trouble for getting dirty when I'm out there." "Too scared," said Muddy. "I don't like being out there on my own." Said Lily. "I think what we need is a plan." The next morning, after breakfast, Princess Lily opened up her big dressing-up book and took out everything she thought she might need. An old pair of her brother's trousers to pull up over her pretty new dress, a baggy old jumper that was warm and thick, long stripy red socks that stretched over her knees, and a purple woolen hat to cover her plaits. "Climb into this bag, Muddy," she told her new friend, "and I will carry you out to the garden." Lily ran down the long hall, smiled at the cat who sat sharpening his claws, and hurried down the steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, past portraits and vases, the small dog that sat whining. With hardly a glance, swished past the statue, straight to the old garden door, and pulled on her old red Wellington boots. Puddles were splashed in, races were run. They built a hide under bushes, watched worms, snails and slugs. Muddy climbed trees, his fur was soon coated in twigs, while Lily made a mud castle and surrounded it with sticks. "Princess Lily," Miss Black called. "I have to go now," said Lily, feeling sad. "But we can come back again tomorrow," said Muddy. He was looking very dirty, but very happy indeed. Lily ran through the back door and into a bathroom. Off came the trousers, jumpers and long socks. With a flick and a shake, the purple hat was off. She slipped on clean shoes, washed hands and face. "Yuck! Now you look too clean," complained Muddywart. "But I can get all dirty again tomorrow," Lily promised. Lily hurried out into the hallway. "Well done, Lily," said her mother. "You look very pretty." "And your hair is so neat," said her uncle. "Just right." Lily smiled, a big, wide smile, because they couldn't see the extremely dirty Muddywart hurrying up the stairs. "Oh, what a beautiful smile, Lily," said her grandmother. "You really are the perfect princess." The end. I hope you enjoyed the story of Lily and Trouble with Puddles. The illustrations were done by the wonderful Bryony Hallis and Philip Jones. Thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful week listening to all the stories. Bye-bye.